Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by the live stream again. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jacob Tonjay and the NTZ crew. I appreciate y'all, man. All of my fourth quarter members. What's up, Jeff Retada, the DJ from the VJ. Paragraphics. What's up, S. Allen? I always call out all my fourth quarter members. Roger Walker. What times it travels? I thought I saw I Love the China on here. All my old heads, my buddy Eric Terry from the States, but he's over here now enjoying his yummy six. What's up, Q? He said these yummy sixes would get a 2 to 3 point bump in America, making them delicious eights and nines. That's right. But since we're over here, the yummy sixes, he said, good Lord, have mercy. I'm ready to find me a yummy six. Well, one of these days, y'all gonna believe what I'm saying. I know a little bit about the Philippines. But any new viewers and subscribers join us today, welcome. And anybody catching this on replay. The peso is 61.23 at the time that we went live. What's up, Kevin Strong? There's Ray. What's up, Ray? I caught you on that upcoming video, man. I hope you didn't mind just maybe 2 seconds of you walking in front of us. Yeah, it was raining. It was raining, man, last night. Damn Yappy woke me up. You know, we always have a topic. Today's topic is, are foreign or Filipino relationships a fair exchange? And of course, you know, I always have a topic just to keep us centered, something to come back to. But we'll talk about anything, and you know, we always have a lot of things to talk about. What's up, Sam McCall? Winning in Cavite. What's he saying up here? I can't. That's okay. Yeah, it's in Metro Manila now winning. Yeah, still raining here. Hey, you asked me where that footage was from. Have you been to the Okada Hotel and Casino? What's up? Obi-Wan Kenobi? He said, hey, Cal, who's that cutie next to Marilyn in the thumbnail? I forgot her name, but you know, it's one of her gym buddies. She went to she came to the meet and greet in Sikihor. You know, they always traveling and stuff like that. There's a bunch of them here, man. He said, yeah, damn Yappy. What's up, Gregory Keith? Yeah, it's not fair for the dudes. But I did want to talk about that Chris Johnson situation. But first, man, let me talk about this Australian. Everybody's seen the videos and the news about the Australian that killed the Thai teenager. I'm thinking to myself, is this guy a serial killer? Was he a serial killer or just a thirsty clown? Because they showed them walking into the hotel together, you know, hand in hand, looked like, you know, everything was everything. And come to find out, he ended up killing the young lady. Now, of course, she was underage. She was 17. But I'm pretty sure she probably told him she was 18. But anyway, he sounded drunk to me. He's talking and apologizing. And I'm saying, what would make him kill that little girl like that? So little that he could put her in a suitcase. And why? I mean, I don't understand how he was caught. You know, I'm not trying to give him any help or just about what he did. I'm like, you should have just kept her in the damn hotel. At least you'd have been able to get away on the plane. He said, what's up, Cal? I just watched that story about Chris Johnson. I love watching him run. He was one of the premier running backs in the NFL. Yeah, during his time, he was. Hey, what's up, Chain? But I'm saying, what do y'all think about that guy? I mean, this is starting to become more and more common over here. These guys are killing these women over here. Is that something that's always been happening? Maybe we just haven't been paying attention. Good morning, Chang. She said, good morning to everybody in the chat. Also, I saw where Trump going to have to pay that lady, E. Jean Carroll, because the Supreme Court denied his appeal of that sexual abuse case. Now, imagine what his appeal was based on. We'll move on because we ain't going to talk about Trump today. But I saw this was front page news. His appeal was based on, he said that the jury never should have heard about his other sex abuse allegations and cases. Is this guy a clown or what, man? Like, why is he able to get away with all this stuff? And what's his followers are going to say? His own Supreme Court flunkies and bootlickers let him down? Because he controls the Supreme Court. They're like, no, dude, go on and pay that woman. But yeah, let's talk about this Chris Johnson thing for a little bit, man. I was woken up out of my sleep, because these dogs, man, they're not going to stop until you let them in that gate. And I tell Merlin and her mother and everybody over and over and over, don't lock those gates until those dogs is in here. They won't do it because they think that all the dogs are back there. And they'll wake you out of your sleep. Well, anyway, I come back. I can't sleep, so I hit my phone, which is a bad idea, by the way. That just guarantees you're not going to go back to sleep. And the story about Chris Johnson came up, and I hadn't heard about it. He was diagnosed a year ago when he was 39 years old. Imagine he's 39, living his best life, guys. Watch this video if you don't watch another video. Hey, what's up, Sam? He said, I've been by Al-Qaeda, but not in yet. Yeah, go in there, man. Shout out to Raymond and Peach and Richie, Rich, and Chang, man. We all met up over there. It was our first time. I really enjoyed myself. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Thanks for that super chat. He said, I appreciate you answering my email about Kentucky. It's on my short list. Thanks, brother. Oh, you're welcome. Now, I was born in Lexington. I got a lot of kin folks there, but I lived there for 1 year in the beginning of my life insurance career because that's where my territory was. So I had an apartment there. I would stay there Monday through Thursday, then I'd come back home Friday through Sunday. But I really don't know a whole lot about Lexington, but I know it's not as bad as Louisville. And Louisville really ain't bad when you compare it to all these other places. But yeah, I saw his story, man, and this guy is a multimillionaire, beautiful wife, family, the whole 9 yards, and is diagnosed with ALS. There's no cure. He's going to die. I mean, if you watch the interview, he's just sitting there. He can't move at all. You see his hands, and you just see that he's just turning into, nothing really. Remember Steve McMichael from the Chicago Bears. And then I don't know the name of the guy who's playing for the New Orleans Saints. He's got it. And a friend of mine, Frank, he messaged me. He said, NFL football players are 3.5 times more likely to contract ASL than everybody else. And the man can't even move his mouth. I mean, it's a messed up disease. And then his wife says, well, we're praying to God and we're looking for a miracle, and a breakthrough. It's not coming, man. And people get mad when I said, that's why I don't follow religion anymore. We're not going to get on this religion, but this is one of the reasons I don't follow it. Because now you're praying, why pray to a God to fix what only he could have prevented in the first place? And you say, oh, well, it's God's will. You don't question God. Well, what kind of God would have that in his will for a man? That's a horrible way to die, guys. You gotta die anyway. Okay? You gotta die anyway, but that's a horrible way to die. You're defenseless. Nothing, like I said, a fly can kick your ass. But it's really a shame, man. It really is. Um, he says, I'll be damned. Hell, if they raise minimum wage to 25, they better increase my pay tenfold. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. That is at a living wage. Why don't y'all have any sympathy for the everyday man and woman is what I don't understand. Why is it okay for these rich-ass fools to rob us blind, but you can't pay a decent person a decent wage? $25 an hour is nothing. What, they give you $1,000 a week, then by the time they tax it, what, you down to $600 a week? That's no money, Q. And you got a family of 4 or 6 or whatever it is. $600, that's a car note. That's not even rent. I mean, $600. I mean, yeah. Okay, for the Saints, his name is Steve Gleason. Okay, yeah, thank you. But this $25, why do y'all think that's so much money? This is what we should be getting paid. That should be the minimum. I mean, what do you want? I was watching a video yesterday, man. Guys, it's comedy. He said he started his job at FedEx at 2:30 and quit at 2:50 a.m. He said they looking for slaves. They ain't looking for me. And this is what I'm saying. We supposed to work for these fools for nothing? Come on, man. No. I got to push back against that. It should be $25 an hour. That's nothing. It's no money in 2026, guys. He said, I've been here in Lexington for 10 years now. The population feels like it's quadrupled since I moved here. But it's a nice place, really, to live. Kentucky is one of the places that people have on their radar, like Kevin Strong said. I was watching a video of a lady the other day made that. It's like, why Kentucky should be your place to retire. Because the cost of living is really, man, low compared to the East Coast or the West Coast. He says, ALS is one of the saddest diagnoses because you're still alert mentally as your body dies. Yeah, great point that I didn't make. He said a famous physicist named Stephen Hawking died from ALS. So tragic. It's very tragic. Man, we take life for granted, man. We sitting here bitching and moaning and complaining about the littlest, tiniest stuff. Like you said, oh, man, they better raise my... Hey, don't you know that man would give away everything he's got to start over at 40 years old, if just for his health? But you only think about that when you're on your deathbed. That's why I say all the time. I don't know who said it. Somebody said, what rich man wouldn't give everything he's got just to live another day? Rich man on his dying bed. This is what this man is facing. Beautiful wife, man. Damn piece wife. Because he's got, he's rich. He says, I think it's a fair exchange. However, what's up, Louise? Older foreign men should not be expecting true love. The same way the younger woman should not be expecting a mansion, a yacht, and generational wealth. Well, what is a fair exchange is no robbery? What's that even mean? I looked it up. So we can start here. But, like I said, this is your channel, man. Whatever I see over here, I'm going to react to. Okay. But it says, a trade or deal involving items or services of equal value is fair and honest, and no one is being cheated. But remember, a trade or deal involving items or services of equal value is fair and honest. It's got to be all of these guys, and no one is being cheated. The transaction is just and no wrong doing occurs. So is this a fair exchange? Hey, what's up, Enzo? He's about to start this third shift. Glad to have this live stream to get through the night, man. Much love, Cal. Hey, man, my heart goes out to you. And anybody working that third shift. I used to work them swing shifts and third shift. Man, they'll kill you, man. You know, I want to say one thing before we get started. We got it made for real when you think about it. But you have to know that you got it good before you can appreciate what you've got. You know, your health, man, really is the greatest thing you can have as far as I'm concerned. If you got that, man, if you're just able, if you're just independent, sorry. I mean, that's going a long way, man. You know, you got a chance. That ALS, man, where, man, you dependent on everybody. You know, but I do want to say this, man. If you grew up in the black community, we called people cock blockers. Okay, because I don't know how old I was. I think I was in the 8th grade before I realized that to white people, a cock is a dick. But to black people, cock is a pussy. But we call them cock blockers. Right? And the third wheel. You might be with your girl. Y'all get ready to get it on. This fool won't leave. But we got these kind of guys out here now who want to ask this question. Is this a fair exchange? You know, I call them skirt keepers. Or dick monitors. You know, the who, what, when, where, why, how, and who you're screwing. You know, these guys. You know, they're monitoring your life. If you're 63 and you're with a 21, they want to tell you, is it okay or not? Or like the guy who's on my live stream the other day. He's 60, I think he said what? He was 64 and his girlfriend was 19, right? And they're going to call him weird, right? No. Remember, consenting adults. But who are these guys? We've got so many of them now. They just popped up all the way. You know, they don't even have YouTube channels. Some of them got YouTube channels. Most of them are in the comments like, dude, you a dick monitor. Leave these grown men alone and grown women alone. For whatever reason. He said, hey, Cal, did you see what happened to me and my girlfriend yesterday here in Massachusetts? Yeah, you told me. I saw the comment. You said that two guys came up trying to talk to your girlfriend, but they saw you had that gun on your hip, and they backed off. He said, yeah, you're right, Cal, when you come over there. Yeah, those guys, they infatuated by Filipinas, certainly. Any Asian women you bring over there. He said, no one deserves to go out that way. By the way, good morning, everyone from the hamster wheel. Yeah, you know, but they're praying to God. God's going to save him. The same God who gave him the ALS. I saw it coming, but it's his will. There's always a lesson in it some kind of way. But they're praying, they're looking for a miracle. Well, it's not going to happen, man. My heart goes out to the man. I'm a realist. You know, just like he said in the interview, the doctors told him, look, man, get your affairs in order. They didn't tell him to go home and pray. They said, get your affairs in order so your wife and your kids can be taken care of. You know, you might as well bend over and kiss your ass goodbye. They didn't tell him to go home and pray. You know. He said, hey, Cal, what's up, Ron? Yeah, see, I didn't know this. Yeah. It's so many football players, man. It has to be something that's connected to football, man. The only NFL game, the one and only game I've ever attended was the Tennessee Titans. It was the same year he ran for 2,000 yards. He ran all over the Indianapolis Colts, but they lost. I remember that game like it was yesterday. We had great seats, man, right on the 5-yard line. I'm talking about I'm as close. I'm right by the rail. Right in front of me is the cheerleaders. And in the field, I could throw a rock and hit the players. That's how close I was. I was as close as, spectators could be. We were shocked, man, because on the way, we got some cheap pair of binoculars because we thought we was going to be way up in the stand somewhere, but we're right there. You could hear Peyton Manning calling out the signals. And the NFL's big, man. It's bigger than what you can imagine. Like I said, it's like a holiday. Every Sunday, they got its own day. The following is just ridiculous. Got these grown men wearing these jerseys, other men's names on the front. I'm on the back, and the city's on the front. And, I mean, it's a party. If you've ever been to any of these tailgates in Indianapolis, man, they had a concert. And they had the cheerleaders running through. It was crowded. I never seen anything like it. He said most people are scared to admit it's transactional in the beginning. Some couples eventually build real love, but let's stop pretending there aren't incentives on both sides. This is 100% facts. I've been saying this from day one, but like you said, they're afraid to admit it because they got the skirt keepers right there who are going to, nitpick you to death. Cock blockers, dick monitors is what I call them. The who, what, when, where, why, how you're fucking. Weak ass men, man. Yeah, he said 25 ain't nothing, especially in California. But they got us brainwashed. That's the crab in the barrel mentality. It's okay for a cocksucker and robber baron like Elon Musk to become a trillionaire, and y'all want to suck his balls and brag about him and like that. But your next door neighbor trying to get a regular, living wage, and you gonna block that. Oh, you don't deserve $25 an hour for frying hamburgers. Why don't you? You the front line, earning the corporation billions and billions of dollars. Yeah, he said, I don't get it, Cal. Some people have no compassion. Yeah, not for their fellow man. Yeah, but I didn't know Dwight Clark had it. I know Steve McMichael, he died right before he was able to attend his Hall of Fame ceremony or to have his number retired in the Chicago Hall of Fame. I think he eventually died, man. He was a big old guy, man. And then he just got reduced to nothing in that wheelchair, man. He said, generally speaking, being with a woman isn't a fair exchange. Now, a guy could make it fair, like a 60-year-old with an 18. If she and her family wants a lot of stuff, that's fair. Yeah, it's whatever you want it to be, John Seb. Don't let these guys tell you what it should be. Don't let them guilt trip you because that's what they try to do. It's like, who are you, man? Get out of my way. I might have ALS tomorrow. Let me get to the Yummy 6, man. Because he's 22, you want to try to be the damn skirt keeper. These guys are weak, man. But, as long as it's a trade or deal involving items or services of equal value, it's fair and honest, and no one is being cheated. Okay, I put down here. When you slow down, this is sound like what you're saying. When you slow down, it allows her to catch up. See, when you slow down on your spending and tricking, her actions will catch up eventually. It may look like you're way out front at the beginning, like Chang said, with the money you're spending and everything, but eventually it slows down. The money slows down, but her actions keep going, so it kind of makes it fair and honest. As long as you feel like you're not being taken advantage of, and she's not being taken advantage of. She feels that way. Remember, you're a consenting adult. We're not raping anybody or anything. Yeah, he says, do you like it? Like I said, I lived there. That's where my book of business was. The people are so much different than in Louisville. They said probably have mandatory overtime. I had one of those sweatshop jobs back in the day. Yeah, but it's just it's a crab in the bucket mentality, man. You got people talking about that right now. I forgot to bring that up. $25 an hour, like that's a lot of money. It's nothing in 2026. He said you gotta have 75 an hour. Yeah, to live comfortably. But it's okay for these fools to continue to, get rich on our backs. See, that's not a fair exchange. That's robbery. What they're doing to us. You're making billions and billions and billions of dollars, in some industries trillions of dollars. And then they'll tell you, man, like 100,000. Look, guys, 100,000 is nothing today. By the time they tax your ass, depending on what your situation is. When I was growing up, 35,000 was the thing. If you earned 35, 40,000, you was doing something. Now that's nothing. That should be minimum wage. What's up, Switch Gear? It's not, man, for real. Everybody watching this can go through $1 million. You're going to go through $1 million in 2026 dollars. By the time you buy a house and a car, that million is cut in half. Then your everyday living expenses, because you ain't going to qualify for nothing if you got $1 million. You got to, there's no Pell Grants and all that. You got to pay full price for the college tuition of your kids and all that. Man, $1 million is nothing. But it sounds like a lot to the masses. But it's not. He said, your vid about that was so revealing. Yeah, it's okay for these guys to get rich. We brag on these guys. They're not even kin to us. We want to see them win. He said, so you mean to tell me an MF who hasn't went through any schooling should get the same amount as a person? I didn't say that. I said the minimum should be 25. Now, if you got more skills, then you should get more. But I'm saying let's have a baseline of 25, Q. Can we agree on that? Okay? No, I'm not bugging. That ain't even what I said. I'm saying pay $25 is nothing. Pay them people $25 to start. I don't care what you're doing. That's part of the problem. People are being underpaid because they got you thinking that you don't deserve that. Only we deserve that. If you pushing a broom, you don't deserve nothing. You should just be happy that you got a job. No, that's foolishness, man. I'm talking from a human standpoint, man. This is what's wrong in America. It's all about dollars and material shit. There's no kind of empathy, sympathy, emotion, or anything involved. Y'all done went crazy over there. That's a machine that ground y'all up, man. You have no human emotion. You don't even care about your fellow man. Chang says an old guy can date way out of his league because of his passport and wallet. Don't act surprised when Filipino values the opportunities he brings. Absolutely. I'm talking about that. Y'all gonna like this next video that's uploading. The members only got it now. And that's exactly what I'm saying. And they'll justify it psychologically. They'll say, hey, I deserve a new life. He should be lucky to be with me. If it wasn't for me, he'd be lonely. And maybe hell, somebody's gonna take his money. Might as well be me. You know. But you have to ask yourself, what are you bringing to the relationship? So, what is the item or services that you're bringing versus what she's bringing? If all you're lacking is a woman or a good relationship, and you got everything else, then all she has to do is bring herself to the table. He says having $1 million isn't considered rich anymore. It would be good money if it was still living in the early 90s. Yeah, it's eventually, you're going to spend that up, man. $1 million is nothing, guys, right now. Okay, I can guarantee you probably spent, how much you think you spent, how much money went through your hands in the last 5 years or 10 years or something? A lot. Yeah, the graveyard shift. That's why they call it the graveyard shift, man. I tell you, about 2 o'clock, I love the chime. Is that I love the chime? No, it's Switch Gear that said that. Man, your body starts fighting back. It's trying to lay down and go to sleep, and you trying to stay up. That'll kill you, man. So many times I did that. I've been doing push-ups, and I'll walk out in the cold-ass weather, anything to try to stay awake. Because about 2 or 3 o'clock, man, you fighting it, man. And then, okay, you back to normal, you get off, and now you can't go to sleep. And next thing you know, at 6 o'clock again, you got to go in and work till 6 in the morning. Man, it should kill me, man. I'll be so glad that I don't have to do that anymore. He said LeVar Ball's wife left him after his leg was cut off. Damn. Yeah, you never know what's really going on in that situation. Imagine when he was at full strength and his sons is earning big money. He's living a big life. He's probably, and his wife had a stroke. He ain't signing up for the jackhammer crew. There's no telling why she left him. But that's just life, man. Yeah, third shift is a bitch. I tell you, it is. Yeah, he said 9 to 7:30. It is. He says, as a healthcare professional, it's important to know that ALS, what's that? Is that AM? Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It's not contagious. You cannot catch ALS from, we know that. We know that. We're saying that according to this, GMS and Good Morning America, 90% of the cases are sporadic, meaning you just contract it. Okay? You don't have no family history or anything like that. And they saying that's what happened to him. He just woke up one day and had it. And the rapid onset blew his mind. He was like, man, just 1 year ago, I'm doing normal shit. Now he's sitting up there looking like a mummy. And I'm not trying to make fun of him. I'm just saying it's scary, man, to think that we out here wasting all this time arguing and bitching and complaining and moaning about nothing. And that could be on the horizon for your stupid ass. That's what I made the video for today. There's nothing we can do right now for Chris Johnson. You can pray all you want. It ain't not going to happen. I'm saying open up your damn eyes, man. Leave people alone. Do it now while you can, while you're able to do it. We're so distracted, man. We don't even know what living really is. He says, I play your videos here at UPS. All the workers are listening to you on the speaker. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I used to work in UPS 1984 when they had you in the back of them big ass semi trailers. They don't do that anymore. They got these nice old conveyor belts and stuff like that. Hell, the AI and shit does all the work for you. Back then, they were just throwing packages at you, man, and you had to spin them things and look at the zip codes and, put that shit in order, man. From the front of that thing all the way to the back. Hey, what's up? Thank you, Vinny. Yeah, help is well, but we take it for granted. You're going to go home and argue with your old lady or your old man because the beans are cold on the stove. This man sitting up there living his best life just 1 year ago. Pretty sure he still had some of that money left. He played in the NFL for 10 years. He even looks, just all the muscles in his face. He don't even look the same anymore. He was a tough looking guy. I don't know what he looks like right now. It was so shocking to me, man. I couldn't go back to sleep. I said, man, let me talk about this because y'all out there, man, y'all be tripping. Y'all the ones bugging, Q. Because I don't be wasting my time. Because after I quit thinking about it, hell, I woke Merlin up, yeah. Give me the tune up. I might have an ALS tomorrow. What's up, Michael Beach Alive? He said, the exact cause of ALS is still not fully understood, but researchers know that about 90%, 95%, sporadically, meaning they happen without a clear, inherited cause. Yeah, it is. That's a scary thing. But then you want to sit here and be a skirt keeper, a dick monitor, worrying about some other man's life, when your life hangs in the balance. I'm out here doing it, man, because I know, hell, when you live to be 63, you learn something. You know a little something about life. You stop taking shit for granted. But you got these cock blockers, what we used to call them. Like, get out of my way, man. Go on home. The woman wants to be with me today. He said that third shift is a bona fide killer. Employers know it and compensate us a few cents to endure that BS. Yeah. But if you try to say, oh, yeah, we're going to pay these guys at UPS, shout out to UPS, $25 an hour, which they should be close by now. UPS has always paid good. They're going to get mad at you. Well, you shouldn't be getting $25 an hour, to basically stack pallets of packages. Why not? When the company is earning billions and billions of dollars, you're the backbone of the company. Give me a break. He said you got to be out here, man, to bring your woman to America. Ain't nobody safe, but that's always going to be that argument. That's always going to be up. Always going to be out there. I'm just telling you from my experience, man. Most of the women do what they say they're going to do. They're not looking at those guys over there because, they appreciate what you've done, man. Certainly when you bring a woman from over here. If she wants to run off, then okay. You tell her, okay, be careful what you wish for. The guy I was telling you about, the truck driver, his woman ran out with a guy from Poland. I said, they're going to deport both of y'all stupid asses. That's what's going to happen. And then, he didn't help, because normally when you bring a woman over, she needs your cooperation to get that 10-year green card. Well, he didn't already apply for it. I said, look, I'd call and cancel that thing. Let that Polish man help her do it. You know. What's up, Thomas? He said, did you ever hear of Alberta Q. Jones? They have a statue of her being first black woman to pass the bar exam in Kentucky. I never heard of her. Yeah, he said, Unc, that's wild. A fly can kick his ass. No, it's cold, but it's true, man. But see, people get mad at me because I don't follow man-made religion. So they don't like me. You know, they're talking about praying to a God who can fix the man, who could have prevented the ALS. They say, hey, look, man, you know, at least prepared him for it. No. Now they're praying to him to fix him. Like, dude, you should have stopped me from having ALS to begin with. And I won't need a damn miracle. And they say, well, it's God's will. Is this your will for me? I'm not going to, why would I want to serve a God like that? You never should have woke me up and brought me here to the world if this is what you got planned for me. Like, give me a break, guys. But if y'all want to believe that, I'm not knocking you. I don't believe in man-made religion just for that reason. Look, kids getting shot in the head. And then slavery and all that, you know, like, dude, you ain't doing a whole lot, man. For my prayers and my tithes, I can keep that myself. Is this all I'm going to get? Let me keep that to myself then. Help my family and stuff while I'm here. He said, what's up, Richie Rich? Yeah, Richie Rich needs more. Him and Chang, man, y'all just don't know, man. This whole algorithm and stuff, man, it's cheating them. They really should be one of the top channels out there. Look at the foolishness that's out there. This is what the algorithm recognizes. It thrives on ignorance and foolishness. You don't get no more common sense than Rich and Chain. But, you know, the algorithm won't thrive on that. It thrives on Adrian Bronner and Dean the Great. You know, this is the people who get all the views. iShow Speed. These guys aren't doing anything, man. What does iShow Speed do? Really? Well, run around the world. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying this is what the algorithm is recognizing. When you try to really help people and stuff like that, you ain't getting nowhere, man. He said, no, it's not a fair exchange. We're giving them a new life. Well, what is she giving you? If you over there rusty as hell, crusty as hell, dry as a bone, you know, sexually assaulting yourself on a daily basis. You committing a felony every time you touch your own dick, man. That's a felony. That's sexual abuse over there, Frank Ellis. They should lock your ass up. So what is she doing to you? He said, I'd rather pay for experience over someone that can remember answers from a book, yeah, with zero work experience. Thank you. But my point is, we should all stick together. This is why the system is so messed up. We don't stick together. You know, I'm going to say this, you know, thankfully, the unions, you know, people don't like unions. I do. Because they're saying, yeah, we're going to use our leverage. We're the backbone of this damn company. If you don't treat us fair, we're walking off. Okay? And these employers, they know that. So that's why they don't want unions in their businesses now. They want to keep you dumb. He said, yeah, I hate the algorithm stuff. He said, I don't get that algorithm stuff. Man, that's so funny, man. You got to understand. I've seen them up close and personal, man, and I scratch my head. I don't lose no sleep over it, but I scratch my head because I'm saying these guys should be surely get. Imagine sick grandpa gets more views than them. He's got a bigger following than Rich and Chain. Make that make sense to me. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. The algorithm thrives on that bullshit, man. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Juice? Juice here? But you're talking about a fair exchange. You got to say, okay, what are you bringing to the table versus what is she bringing to the table? Is it honest? Is it fair? As long as nobody's getting cheated or feels cheated, how you going to let one of these dick monitors or cock blockers tell you that your relationship is not a fair exchange? Can't nobody else sit back and tell you whether your relationship is a fair exchange. Only you can determine that. This is the problem. These skirt keepers, man, they get on my nerves, man. They get on my nerves. They trying to dry snitch on you online and get the authorities on you and all that kind of stuff, right? He said his union, but hell, I used to be a part of that Teamsters union, not just at UPS. And then when I used to work for DuPont Chemicals, we had a powerful union. Hey, Q, thanks for that super chat. He said, a lady told me I need to walk by faith, not by sight. Yeah, well, wait till she comes down with cancer. Give a damn how much faith you got. He said it's a metaphor, yeah. Well, see, you wouldn't do that in anything else but religion. Okay, follow something without any proof or anything. You're only going to do that with religion. And the only ones that, ask you to do that. To set aside your intelligence, to suspend your intelligence. It's like going to a movie. That's the only way Harry Potter makes any sense. And Alice in Wonderland makes any kind of sense. In the Matrix, you got to suspend your intelligence and be like, okay, yeah, I got to go along with it in order for me to enjoy it. So they tell you, okay, Jesus died for your sins. So, you can sin all you want. Just believe that Jesus died for your sins. That's all you got to do. It's bullshit, man. And when you see people, nobody was more religious than my mother. And my mother suffered, man. She died of lung cancer. Hold your breath for 5 minutes if you can. You can't do it. Okay? My mother, when they pulled the plug on my mother, she stayed alive for, I want to say 17 hours. I don't know how she did it. Okay? But that's not what this discussion is about. You need something in these old fucked up times we live in this old cruel, cold world we living in, where the whole world is watching a genocide happening over in Gaza and ain't doing anything about it. Look at this Russia and Ukraine. America's killing all these innocent people over in Iran. For what? So you need something to lean on. I get that. But I just don't lean on that. Yeah, he said, I never knew about Rich until seeing your live stream. I enjoy their company for sure, man. They keep me laughing. He says, sometimes I wonder why so many women try to tempt me to want to bang them. I don't know. They got their own psychological reasons, ideologies, as to why it's okay to control your life and your resources. What's up? He said, good morning, Cal. From Cagandi Oro, 3 months in retirement, man. Yeah, you on your honeymoon. Boy, ain't nothing like that honeymoon over here. He said, why does all the bad things happen to good people and not the bad? It's like bad people live forever. Say that again. But they're always going to justify that. So I don't bother them. I don't knock people's religions and stuff. I just say I don't follow it. And they look at me like I'm going around raping and robbing and people. I'm not. Morality didn't come from religion. Whether they believe that or not, it didn't. Monkeys have morality. Believe it or not, monkeys have morals. And some type of hierarchy. Now, I guess they got it. They got a monkey god. I guess, over in India. There's millions and millions of gods. But I'm going to sit here and waste my life arguing about that. Because the God I was raised on is a petty-ass God. I'm just telling you now. He said, I'm trying to figure out why you don't have 100,000 by now. Well, I got too many haters, man. Doesn't tell how many times my channel gets reported and stuff like that. So that's why, then the algorithm, responds accordingly. But I'm fine where I am. He said, yeah, we made videos where we talk shit about other vloggers, YouTube would gas us up. Absolutely. They love drama. But you ain't going to sell out just like me. Okay, I'm okay with my 73,000 because I never expected it. I'm okay with my 2,000, 2,500 a month on YouTube. I never expected that, guys. I mean, that's, what I'm saying? That's a blessing. Okay? Yeah, don't use logic. Well, I don't knock anybody's religion, man. What I look like, trying to snatch the rug out from under anybody, support and foundation of their life. I live and let live. I'm just saying, I didn't even want to bring up religion because I know that it takes on a life of its own, and people will hate you for that. When practice your religion, you should show some understanding for people who don't, believe what you believe. You don't want to condemn them. I mean, it should be good enough to you that you're going to heaven. Don't worry about me. He said, Cal, how do you view the black Israelite? I mean, I don't know anything about them. But I wish them the best, man. I'm just, as I look around, I'm a 63-year-old man. As I look around, you got to understand something, guys, and we're going to move on from here. I'm the type of guy who says, when I look at what's going on in the world right now, ever since I've been on this planet, I wish there was a God. I wish there was somebody who could answer the prayers of the people and make things right. We live in a fucked up world. This is the gaslighting that goes on with religious people, with politicians and bullshitters. They gaslight you. They tell you what you're seeing, living and experiencing is not what you're seeing, living and experiencing. It is. This man, 39 years old, was diagnosed with ALS. And his wife said, oh, we're praying to God for a miracle. And I'm saying, why are you praying to a God who could have prevented him from having ALS in the beginning? Who could have stopped that? She said, we're looking for a miracle. We're looking for a breakthrough. And I'm just saying, because I'm a realist. I'm saying, lady, you know it's not coming. The doctors know it's not coming. That's why they told him, Pete James, they said, go home and take care of your affairs. They didn't tell him to go home and pray. They said, go home and take care of your affairs. Dude, you getting ready to go out of here. We're all going to die. They didn't tell that man to go pray. Get that shit, get your will together. And all of that. He said that the algorithm is designed by the people who continue to thrive off the ignorance of the masses. Well, you got that right. That's all I'm saying. Your life is unfair. You got to realize, okay, we live on a planet, a very volatile planet, only a tiny percentage of it, the human beings, that is even inhabitable. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, if you created an Earth and it's supposed to be a paradise, then why'd you create a fucked up Earth like this? Then, okay, all the pestilence and starvation and all of that. I don't want to argue about it. I'm just saying I got a brain of my own. I can think for myself. I don't need anybody to be telling me what I should be thinking when it comes to certain things. Okay, if you want to believe that, it's fine, man. I'm not knocking you for that. Whatever it takes for you to get through this old messed up world that we live in. But you can see a genocide being, you know, happening over in Gaza, and they'll tell you it's not. Those are terrorists we're killing over there. Y'all crazy, man. Hey, thank you, Q, for that super sticker. I don't want to hear it. It is big business. Hey, what's up, Mopar? Welcome to the chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, if I ever tried to be with another woman, my girl would know about it in an hour. Yeah, there's so many little hot girls available for your time over here. My girl's very lucky that I'm loyal. But what are we bringing to the table? What does a 60-year-old man bring to the table in these relationships over here? I just asked him the question. Are foreign or Filipino relationships a fair exchange? Only you can answer that. I can't answer it. Hey, what's up, Saran Alai? You know, the world isn't fair, man. Saran Alai can tell you that right now. He said, what's up, brother Cal? God is good. All you have to do is believe. Yeah. Well, obviously they believe. Or they wouldn't be praying to him. But they ain't going to do nothing for his ALS. The man can't speak. Big Mike. I mean, he's totally dependent on other people. This guy was a super athlete. It's hard to explain. Okay. He says, hey, Cal, when you going to have an open panel? I always have panels all the time. You know, but you got to be careful. Because remember, YouTube is watching. You know, people can come on here. You got to screen people. Because they can get you canceled off of here. YouTube isn't guaranteed. I don't have no open panels like that. Where I let strangers come on my channel. No. Y'all got to go somewhere else for that. Because you got too many people out here they're going to say or do the wrong thing to get your channel brought down. Yeah, Merlin's doing good. There she is right there. He said, how's Merlin doing? You said she fell on the surfboard. She went to the dentist and got fixed up. You know, she's happy now. Yeah, you know, we all got to go. My brother said that. He said, why do we make such a big deal about death when everybody's going to die? You know, well, it's just human nature. You know, we're just trying to find a meaning. There is no meaning to this life for real. The guy just said it in the comments. He said, you get an education, you get a career, you retire, and you die. Well, what's that all about? But some people wake up and they say, well, hell, I don't know where I come from. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to enjoy time right now. I'm going to do what I can while I can, man. That's all. I'm going to make hay while the sun is out. I'm going to sit around waiting all the time. When people get sick, they go to the hospital. They don't go to the church. Yeah. Who is Satan? They got you. Where is Satan? I will give it. You are Satan. He said a lot of people don't like truth because they want to be you. The experience I had there, it was super incredible. Oh, you talk about red pill, not me. It's not an effed up world. It's the people. Yeah, okay. I agree with that. I agree with that. Well, see, come on, guys. We're not gonna see. I'll check you on my channel. I'm not like a lot of these other vloggers. I'll let you come over here and disrespect people and all that. You know, this is the reason why I don't do interviews and go on other people's channel a lot, because they'll allow people in the comments to come at me and they won't check them. Okay, I'll check you. You don't know if he's controlling or not. You know, we jump to too many conclusions. I don't see that. I've met him, not enough to know what goes on behind closed doors. I mean, but damn, we can't have it both ways. You know, he's supposed to be the man in the relationship. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Lay down and let her run over top of him, Vinny? What's... You know, men and women are equal, but we're not the same. He said, Cal believe the foreign and Filipino relationship is a fair deal in most cases, especially if you have skin in the game, like children. And for y'all older guys, some kind of companionship. Yeah, it's just, it's up to the individual. If you think that you're getting a fair exchange, then who am I to come in and say, now you're being used? Or the same with the young lady. He says, I wonder about the same thing sometimes too, Cal. The Philippines is the most religious country in the world, but has some of the most horrific things happen to them. Yeah, I mean, what did the Filipinos do but exercise faith? You know, my father was a preacher, but that ain't the reason why I feel the way I feel. It was only when I moved to the Philippines really did my eyes open up. It's sometime around 2011. You gotta realize, man, I'm in AA. You know, you have to have they tell you to have a God of your own understanding. Doesn't have to be the Christian God and all that stuff. But I got to thinking, I said, man, these are some of the most decent people I've ever met. Certainly the most faithful people I've ever met, man. And man, like you said, some of the most horrific things happen over and over and over. Okay? And I'm saying, well, when is he going to step in and help somebody? It seems like the bad people are winning. Who just said that? Somebody said that. You got a rotten ass devil that's getting ready to become a trillionaire. Yeah, I believe in something bigger than all of us, the universe. Not a person, it's laws. He says, I believe in a higher power, but I'm not naive and know that man created religion for greed and to control people. People forget it was religious people that unalived him. Unalived who? You know, Noah's Ark, they can't find one spoon, not one plate from the Noah's Ark. You know, and then what about the invisible world? You're going to tell me that Noah marched 2 microcosms of each, to each of every microcosm and bacteria and their virus on that damn yacht that he had? I mean, that damn boat he had? Come on, guys. I believe in universal law. If you get on my roof and jump off, guess what? I don't give a damn if you religious, what religion you belong to, whether you don't believe or not, you're going to come crash into the ground. You're never going to go floating up into the sky. If you get on there and the minute you jump, The law of gravity takes over. Doesn't matter if you got a PhD or you've never went to college at all. Your ass is going to come crashing to the ground. You're not going to float off into the space somewhere. If people would just teach us about universal law, our lives would be a lot better. Cause and effect. The law of substitution. The law of compensation. The law of going the extra mile. And all that stuff that they neglect to teach you. Your five senses would have you believe that we're standing still right now. Yet the earth is spinning at 1,037 and a third miles per hour on its axis as it's rocketing through the universe at 60,000 miles an hour. So what else is your five senses lying to you about? A whole lot of shit. Okay? Man has to know. Yeah, that's right. His life is basically over. It is over. All he's going to do is sit in front of it. She's going to sit him in that couch right there, cut on the television or whatever. Nothing works anymore. But he's mentally sharp. How bad can you have it? You got ALS. You mentally sharp. You know everything that's going on around you. There's a beautiful wife you got, and you're like, damn, I can't even reach out and grab her. I can't even, hug my children. That's a cruel existence now. For however long, and he's just only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. He said, create a poll so we can vote on it. See, a lot of people, most people are like me. But you can never admit it when you live in America in some of these places because you're going to be counseled. Do you really believe that these rich people and these politicians, you really believe that they believe in a God and acting as cruel and evil as they do? They think they're God. Money is your God. That's who you worship. Okay, that's why you do everything you do. It's money. If you worship your God the way people worship money, man, our whole lives will be so much better. We just won't do the simplest shit to help each other. Think about this, guys. You got to tell me that of all the leaders in the world, certainly the United States, the superpowers, there's not one person up there who really is going to practice their religion, is going to wear it on their sleeve and do the right thing. No. Every last one of them rotten cocksuckers is devils, man. You going to tell me not one of them will say, hey, man, let's do the right thing. Let's don't cancel child care and health care and Medicaid, and don't take food stamps from people out here. You think one of them will stop trying to run the government like a business and say, well, have some empathy, sympathy for people, some type of human emotions, and say, you know what, man, if I pass this big, beautiful bill, it's going to it's going to hurt a lot of people. No. Yeah. He said the camel going through the avenue. Because we literally believe the Bible, literally. We don't realize it was written in allegories and parables and stuff like that. And it's been translated so many times over and over and over and over. So they're supposed to tell me that, everything happens for a reason, the guy said. Yes, cause and effect. It's the law of cause and effect. And that everything was written before and all of that. Okay, so why even have me here then? If my life was already predetermined. What kind of crazy shit are y'all talking about, man? Get off my channel talking about that. He said, imagine your 15-year-old son is laughing and playing. In a split second, he's on the ground bleeding out, and you're giving him first aid CPR. Then he's dead on arrival at the hospital. I'm still trying to heal. This is what I'm saying. But a religious person is going to tell you, Saran, a lot, as if it's supposed to really help you. Oh, this is God's will. He's in heaven with God. Like, why you just take him in his sleep, God? Why you have to have a sword of glass go all the way through him, he bleed out, suffer like that? Come on, man. But let's get off that, guys, because, it creates enemies. Sports, politics, religion. Okay? And it's other things, too. But those three things will make enemies out of friends. But I'm not ashamed to share my views with people. People are afraid to, speak their mind today. This is another problem we have in this old messed up society. That's all. So they'll hide it. You don't know who's real, who's not. Yeah, but you jump into a conclusion about that man. Saying he's controlling. Do you know the man personally? You know about their relationship personally? Yeah, every action is a reaction. Well, she's just a yummy six over here. That's the typical woman you're going to see over here. But, let me say this too. Y'all do realize that we've saved a whole generation of women over here, in my opinion. The women from 40 to 50, 40 and up, just say 40 and up, man, their dating options is basically shot over here. I'm not talking about Merlin, because Merlin was 36 when I met her. I'm saying women, I see it with my own eyes. If a woman's 40 and up over here, she's either happily married, in a tolerable marriage, or her dating options are shot. I mean, literally, she just says her children and grandchildren are her life. And she, throws in the cards. But because you got foreigners coming over here rescuing these women, okay, the husbands run off, or he may be on drugs, or whatever it is. Their dating options are minimal, or none at all. But we come over here and wipe them up and put them on pedestals. We've literally saved an entire generation of women over here, guys. I see it with my own eyes. So many of them, man. Their life is their children, their grandchildren now. They're old maids until we come over here. Look online. Look at a lot of these vloggers. They with what I call these old Sallies. But they're not really old. Over here they are. When you consider 30 as being old over here, imagine if you're 45 over here. And you may have, a 10-year-old child, because remember, you were 35 when you had the child. You hadn't reached that this 40, that forsaken 40. But we've saved them. And now they're walking around here like they all that. They got the big head, because they know all they got to do is get on the dating site. Y'all make a damn piece out of them. But we've literally saved a whole generation of women over here, man. I feel sorry for them, because a lot of them, they've been, they're over here, they working, they go to church, and that's it. He says, I have a choice but to believe in God, because the idea of us being created just to suffer doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. What's the logic in that? Well, like I said, it's not for me to prove that. I didn't say there's a God. You did. I can't prove that there's none. I just said I don't believe in it. I never said that, because you're going to go on and on with this stuff. You religious people are smart. You're not dummies. You got PhDs and all kind of stuff. You're always going to justify that stuff. Then where is the God? Show me then. Because the sun shines on the good people as well as the bad. They're enjoying all this natural beauty out here too. It's just like Q said, look like all the bad shit's happening to good people. You guys are too smart for your own damn good. But yet, God ain't paying your bills. It's like I said, if you were a woman and here you are working your fingers to the bone. You coming up with all these solutions, all these ideas, and she wants to give the credit to Jesus, then damn it, move in with Jesus. Yeah, women, yeah. This is what they do over here. But we've rescued them. Because, man, these guys over here, man, if you think about, when you think about the Philippines, you think about younger women. You don't think about older women. Don't lie. Okay? That's where the pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow to some of you guys. You think, I'm going to come over here and get me a 25-year-old woman, 30 at the most. You don't dream of having a 45-year-old woman. But it's a lot more and more guys are going in that direction. Because you got these cock blockers and these skirt keepers and these dick monitors at the door. They're scaring you. They're shaming you. They're saying, what are you doing with a grown-ass 26-year-old? You don't get any growner, guys. She's going to get older. She don't get any growner. That's all, But they scare y'all. Oh, you're weird. Like everything is the same way as it is in America. And they over there dating mamas and grandmamas over there. They're just mad at you. They're jealous of you. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but see, to us, she's a damn piece, man. I see the look on their face. They're so happy. If you really want a woman that's going to really appreciate you, you ain't never got to worry about it. Come over here and date a woman 40-something that they just, kicked to the curb. It's like, look, you're just fun and games for the guys over here. Your dating pool is so limited that they've just given up. They've thrown in their cards. But now here comes us. We're marrying these women, taking them back to our countries, building houses, lots, buying their contracts out where they're working like Hebrew slaves overseas. I think it's a good thing. He said, my fiance and I met both Chang and Rich in BGC, and they're great people. Separately, I met with Chang and Richie alone another time, and they seem like a great couple at Vanny DVD. I met them so far as, I've met them several times, and I'm not trying to dig in somebody's, relationship with, he's too controlling. Life goes by too quickly for that, guys. I'm just listening to their conversation, what they're saying. They're very informative. They're funny as hell. That's all I'm worried about, man. I'm entertained. I don't give a damn. What you? You want me to find out what Chang wears to bed at night? And Richard said, you can't wear that to bed. He's too controlling. Y'all crazy, man. But see, Richie Rich and them, they haven't reached that level, really. The only one I've ever seen do a video on Richie Rich is Sick Grandpa. And he just does that just to hide what he's really trying to do. He tries to spread it out. He knows his target audience. Okay? Nobody else comes at Richie Rich and Chang, man. Not that I've seen. I could be wrong. I've never seen a video where somebody spends 10 to 12 minutes, cutting them down, putting them down, talking about their families, spreading lies about them. If you have a link, let me see it. Hell, there's a video going around, I called a stray from a guy. When I made that video she was 18 but said she was 22. See, whenever you get
1%.
okay, 1%. Whenever you get a video that the algorithm picks up and you get some nice views on it, people are gonna see it who normally don't watch your channel, and the guy picked it up. And he's literally using the video I made. He's cut it up and all that, taking it out of context and making it look like I'm over here chasing 16-year-old girls, not realizing that the story I was telling happened in 2009. I'm 45. The girl says she's 22. She turned out to be 18. Okay, so what? I had to, even when I thought she was 22, I had the blessing of her family. The blessing of her family. But these guys take that type of stuff and they make whole videos about you. I haven't seen that about Richie and Chain. That's all I'm saying. But it's true. It's true. And they know it's true. You see some of these women these guys are with over here, and they think they lucky stars that there was a dating site. Yeah, 30 is considered old. Hey, what's up, Laura? Give my regards to your husband. But yeah, certainly once you get 40 plus over here, that's why these guys are ending up with these nice looking women over here at 40. Because, you know, they become like playthings over here. Men ain't really taking them serious anymore. Because it's not like they're living in, okay, in Manila, it may be different, but it's somewhere like St. Carlos City, everybody knows everybody here. They know the husband, they know the situation, why they broke up and all that. They're really not trying to do anything, but you don't know nothing. You've given them a new life. I don't. I don't. And, you know, that's okay. I mean, that don't mean I'm out here raping and robbing. Okay, because the people who say they're believing in God are the ones doing the most treacherous, ornery shit. Okay? Timothy McVeigh, self-professed Christian. Remember, Trump is a self-professed Christian. Obama. These people are killing people wholesale out here. Biden and all the presidents proclaim to be Christians. You've got to be a self-professed Christian to be the president of the United States. But it don't stop them from dropping atomic bombs on innocent folks. Men, women, and babies. These people believe in God. And doing everything under the damn sun. Hey, Q, thanks for that super chat. He said, Unc, why I see many black guys dating 2s and 3s? I don't know. Where do you see them? You're in the province. You don't come out of the province. You're in America. So you're talking about in America or over here? You're black. You don't have a 2 or 3. I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying. It's not just black men. You know, just say American men. Because we're all grown from the same soil. I said, I don't buy that, really, you know. If you're an American man, you got some issues. I don't care what color you are. You got some damn issues. He said, one time I met a Filipina. She told me this Bible thumping pastor came over there and got her sister pregnant, and she never heard from him again. Be careful with these so-called Bible thumpers. Yeah, deacon clap cheeks. They're over here. You know, and this is the cards they play. A lot of them do. They come over here with that religious stuff. You know, it justifies them being with these younger women and stuff like that. And then the woman figures them out. Well, hell, you licking my booty. Where does that say that in the Bible? Huh? You want me to do what? That's not in the Bible. Well, licking the booties, claiming to be Christians. He said every woman has options. When they think there's a better option, you're somewhat expendable. It depends on the women. But I imagine over there they expect a lot once they get one hooked. Well, this is what I'm saying. They go from nobody wanting them to dime pieces. They get the big head and, they start being demanding. Like, lady, just last week, you had nobody. And then they'll tell you, yeah, I prayed to God for you. You're the man I prayed to God for. And you prayed for me? You better watch out, lady. He says, motherboard full of dick police. I call them dick monitors, man. The who, what, when, where, why, and how you're fucking. Why would you do that? I'm too busy enjoying my life, man. I got a good life, man. I think I'm playing. I got a good life. But you have to know you've got a good life because I walked away for some good situations because I didn't know how good I had it. We've given them a new life, man. We've blown new life into a lot of women over here. And now, hell, you can't say anything to them. They got a man over here now. He got plenty of money. Shit. You can't tell them nothing now. They in their 40s. Nobody wanted. Nobody was looking at them. Hey, Lateral Richard, thanks for joining the membership. Thanks for your support. Welcome to the fourth quarter. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the peculiar mental twist. They forgot that they were lonely as hell just a few short weeks ago. Now all of a sudden, watch out. Now this is who I prefer and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. This is what I want. They demanding. He says, I came across a couple YouTube channels of black men in the Philippines and the women they're with is out of shape and overweight. But maybe it's a mindset thing because they were overweight also. Well, we talk about this all the time, Q. Men are going to date in their lane. So a lot of guys, they just come over and date in their lane. The very first time I came in the Philippines, I was dating in my lane. I was 45. The woman was 41. I didn't know I could have had a 25-year-old at that time. The 41-year-old lady told me that. I knew nothing about the Philippines. He says, I thought hooking up with a 19-year-old was strange then, but now I realize it was actually normal. Well, these are grown women. But when you got these guys on the outside looking in, man, we're so self-righteous in America. This is what turns me out about Americans. And you don't know it when you're over there stewing in the foolishness. When you're on the outside looking in, you see how self-righteous we are. And then they'll ask you, well, would you let a 40-year-old man date your 19-year-old woman? Well, he's a good man. If my daughter was in that situation, she's grown. I can't tell my daughter who to date. I mean, do you want that for your 19-year-old daughter? Not if you're born in America. But we're only 4% of the population, ladies and gentlemen. We're about 4% of the Earth's population. Can we agree that societies are different than ours? People think differently than the way we think. He said, I just don't think men know their options in the Philippines. I think it's just that we're dating in our lanes. Sometimes, when men are desperate and lonely, man, a 2 or 3 looks like a 10 to them. Okay? Does she have the negotiator? This is all they want, man. Remember, it's money and sex over here. That's it. You take them two out of any relationship, and these relationships fall apart. Or they crumble. Okay? So that's what it is. They just want somebody that they can, hell, that's better. A 2 and a 3 is better than this 5 piece right here, Q. This is what you don't understand. I would rather have a 2 or 3 over here than this 5 right here. And this is the choice a lot of men have. Because remember, women over here are whores, man. Y'all think that women over here are just, I'll just have no morals, no values, no nothing. No, a lot of them are waking up. They're saying, I don't want that. Maybe in the beginning, he said, you and the sex pet prayer. Yeah, these guys, they say the sex pet prayer. Okay, yeah, that's what you think. I mean, everybody, I'm not going to argue with you, Johnny Walker, man. That's not what that's for. There's a lot of things that you don't believe in. Okay? You're 93 million miles away from that sun. Okay? And you think, don't you realize that at one time your religion told you that the sun revolved around the earth, that the earth was the center of the universe? What else were they wrong about? Okay? Just like I said, I can't prove that there's no God. I just don't believe that there's one. You said there is, so prove it. You think that because there's a sun, there's a whole lot more than that going on before you can prove to me. So he's only worried about that. That's the Son of God, if you ask me. It ain't some white man with blonde hair and blue eyes going around touching people, healing them from sickness. Well, where is he today? For Chris Johnson and everybody like that. Yeah, well, like I said, that's all subjective. And that's better than these 5, Frank. Is this the 5 you want? Like Thomas Marshall said, this 5-piece won't turn you down. But you're committing a felony every time you touch yourself. That's sexual abuse in my eyes. It's not like you trying to be gentle. You're pounding your damn self. You're beating yourself unconscious. You're abusing yourself every damn day. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I take a 3 over. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Guys are coming, to that conclusion too, Saran a lot. And what may be a 3 in his eyes, it may be a 10 in your eyes. And then remember, I'm the one that told you this. You start masturbating so much, you're going to start liking dicks. Just touching a dick, in my opinion, even if it's your own, makes you homosexual to me. Because in principle, all dicks are the same. You might as well be grabbing another man's dick. Yeah, it's a damn felony. Just like that man, what's his name? John Kiriakou, he said, so many laws in America that the average American citizen commits 3 felonies every day. He's an ex-CIA officer rather. And that's one of them. That's a first-degree felony, sexual abuse. You should give your ass 10 years in prison. She said, I learned a lot on your channel. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff. A lot of times it's just fun and games, man. But people, they're so serious, man. I'm not telling you not to believe in God. I'm not even saying. I just said that I don't follow man-made religion. That's all. That's all I said. I said I find it kind of strange that when people have cancer, they pray to God for healing. And it's like, well, You've been praying all these years. Why didn't he just stop the cancer from coming? Yeah, it's his will. Well, if that's the will you got for me, God, that I'm going to suffer like this, you never should have created me and put me down here. No, I'm telling the truth, man. Y'all know it's the truth. That's sexual abuse, what you're doing. That's just the bottom line. Y'all don't want to admit it. He says the fourth quarter, go big. That's why I live the way I do, man. Okay, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you, brother. I mean, I really do. He said more than three shakes, you're playing with it. Yeah, in principle, all dicks are the same. Well, you get to starting liking dicks and stuff. You guys are crazy. They are abusing themselves. Because they not, they ain't being gentle, man. They get all up in that imagination, man. They start pounding. Motherfucking dick shrivel up the minute it sees your damn hand. But I'm thinking like, well, who are you making love to in your damn head? You can't just be sitting there enjoying that. You got to be all up in, watching porn or books or something. Either way it goes, in principle, that's sexual abuse. Yeah, because they say that, they just want you to understand. They don't want you to be embarrassed when you do it. And it's quite natural. Yeah, because they do it. Yeah, he just said habitual sex offender. You need to be on that sex offenders register. No, I'm saying if you hold it too long, that's you don't want to piss on your pants. And what you doing? You just urinating. You're not pounding yourself. You get all the way naked and get in bed and cut the lights out and turn up the music. And then when you get done, you can't look at yourself in the mirror. You done become a cum freak. Y'all crazy, man. That's just the real talk right there. Yeah, they know it's the truth. So then if they get a chance, they like, well, what would you rather do? Go through that embarrassment or walk around through the mall over here with a 2 or 3? Give me the 2 or 3. He said sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands. He said the New Testament says thou shalt not kill. So why did God have Jesus killed? Makes no sense to me after years of being a Christian. Well, this God gives me this magnificent brain and I'm not supposed to use it. I'm just supposed to be stupid and blindly walk around here and I'm not supposed to think on my own and, research stuff and look into it. Yeah, they're not gonna. We don't want to hurt nobody's feelings because the thing is, there got to be somebody that's literally practicing their religion instead of just talking about it. That's what gets me about these religious people. They just simply talk about it. They don't really do anything. The world's messed up, man, and they'll say, oh, it's Satan. Crazy. No, it had already been decided. I'm just saying the reason I remember that uh, Concho Pete is because it was around that time. It was already in my mind to do it. You know, I already had my clothes packed. Everything was set in place. I was just at the game. See, you can't show your hand. You guys, you don't got to go there and argue with her. You know, when a person shows you who they are after 16 years, you believe them. And I don't have anything to prove. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of coming home and all my cologne and everything thrown on the ground for nothing. You know, I'm the one that has to change. See, this is when you know you're in a messed up relationship. I've got to work out and get in shape. I got to stop smoking, stop drinking. You know, I've got to be at the top of my game, but you can remain the same. Now, that's going to create a problem. Be careful what you wish for. If you on your woman for self-improvement, then you better be improving yourself, or she's going to get up there and look back and be like, well, what in the world am I with this guy for? But, you know, hindsight is always 2020. You know, there was no reasoning with my wife. If there was, I would have did it another way. But there was no reasoning with her. It was her way or the highway. You know, it was her way or the highway. And, you know, you think about my children, man, you know, yeah, he said, yeah, it's tired of getting beat, but it's become normal for people. You know, if you say he says relationships are for exchange, I paid, so it's mine. Shut up and bend over, and I'll pay the bills. Only you can determine that if it's a fair exchange. Society would tell you it's not. You know, like I said, these people they make their whole channels is built around cock blocking, telling you now stay over there and date them old women over there. A lot of them, the pussy done closed up. It done dried up. It done seen better days. Either that or she's got an elephant pussy. So many dicks have been inside of it. She don't even know when you're having sex. You know, this is what they want you to have because that's what they got. You know, not realizing that men and women, we don't age the same. Okay? How many 57-year-old women you see out there having children? I was 57 when Booby was born. There ain't many. That's all I'm saying. He said it's no, it's not hilarious. He said it's hilarious. Are you one of the dudes that say that? He said it's hilarious when dudes say if they could, they would suck their own dick. Well, I believe it. It's true. I'm just saying it's become a point of, you know, bravado now. I don't need a woman and, you know, I can please myself. He said, would you take things into your own hands or would you take a robot? I'd have to have, I don't know. That's a hard decision. I just have to get me a woman, man. I'm never going to put myself in a position where those are my two options. That's some two messed up options, Adam. Like I said, I'm going for Big Shirley then. I just have to smell all that old cheap perfume and all, you know, when that sweat and perfume mixes. Yeah, have you ever had a Big Shirley before? I've never had a Big Shirley and a pussy didn't stink. But you just want to, you know, you want it so bad, you know, you already reached that point where there's no turning back. I'd rather have Big Shirley than a robot beating up myself. I just have to kiss on that stack of pancakes on her neck. I'm not gonna get in that because people really, um, they get upset. I just say I don't. I'm not telling you not to follow religion and don't believe in everything. I'm just saying I don't. I just came to a point where I don't anymore. And if you don't want to deal with me because of that, you think, oh, I'm a sinner and I'm doing this and doing that. Hell, I do more now than I ever did. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying when it. But this is the time. This is how I tell you how sick the world is. We're looking forward to the time where we can go to the showroom and buy a damn, you know, a damn AI robot. Men are looking forward to the day where they can fuck a robot instead of dealing with a regular woman. I'm like, man, I'm not with that, man. It'll never reach to the point where they're gonna be able to reproduce that. Okay, what it took hundreds of thousands of years for nature to produce. Okay, because I'm gonna just tell you that there ain't a woman was no created out of my rib. But it's gonna happen. They're gonna have a whole. We talk about this all the time on my channel. Just like they sell cars, they're gonna have used robots. Then they're gonna have robot parts, and robot grease for the butt, and just all kind of crazy stuff that you can think about. So if you go in somebody's house and you see robot grease on the damn counter, you know he's got a robot in the back somewhere. They ain't gonna be able to hide it. The people at UPS and FedEx, they're gonna be telling on y'all. Yeah, dude, he got a damn robot in there. Be like, we don't see him no more. And then you're gonna be, or you gotta order the parts, and then when you get your damn credit card statement, it's gonna have, he bought a new butthole, a new pussy, and all that new lips and all of that. Because y'all gonna wear them damn. If pretty soon they're gonna come up with some more laws, robot abuse. Y'all gonna be abusing the damn robots. They gonna be showing up in the damn emergency room. Y'all gonna be trying to do shit to these robots that they not manufactured to do. Because human beings, there's nothing, what they call humans. That we're so what? Uh divine. There's nothing. We're animals, guys. Well, we are. Y'all gonna be trying to do shit to these robots that they're not designed to do. That's all I'm saying. This is what's gonna mess everybody up. Y'all gonna mess the whole game up. That's all I'm saying. I don't look forward to that day. You ain't got to worry about UPS driver delivering no damn robot to me. Yeah, I don't want to make people think I'm disrespecting because I'm not. But I knew a long time ago that the slave master and God were the same people. Hey, Rashard, thanks for that super chat. He said, man, I don't know where you pick your Shirleys. Cherokee and Miss Cleo. If you know our Shirley's now. Scratch my head, sad I'm black. I don't want thin women. Well, you know, everybody's had a Big Shirley before. But hell, even Big Shirley don't even want to be Big Shirley anymore. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but ain't nothing divine about human beings, dude. You know that. We're gonna be it's gonna be robot abuse, man. Motherfuckers gonna be showing up in the emergency room with the damn robot head attached to your dick where it'll malfunction. But these guys are looking forward to today. They hate women, man. That bad that they would rather have a robot to deal with that. My buddy Christopher Williams sent me a video. I got it on my Patreon. This is supposed to be the most lifelike right now. I think they want 10,000 for this thing. It just sits there, you know, and I guess you know, at some point you're gonna be like, I'm fucking a robot. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be robot grease and robot juice and all kind of stuff. If you see that on somebody's shelf, you know they hiding a damn robot back there. No, but we're not women. You shouldn't be in an LDR to begin with. Look, guys, if you don't hear nothing else on this live stream, don't get involved with a damn LDR. Unless you got an 8,000-mile long dick. How in the world? Why would you get involved with a LDR? She's only going to win now. It's not a fair exchange. She's showing you the damn peekaboo, you know, for $1,000 a month. That ain't going to get it. That's not a fair exchange. I'm sorry. Okay? Yeah, no, they don't need no more KY jelly. They're going to get out. The KY jelly's over with. That don't work on them damn robots. Then they're going to be showing up. They're going to have all kind of other stuff. Where he done try to just beat the damn robot. You know, you're going to scrape all the skin off your dick. Yeah, and then who wants to buy a used robot? Because that's what's going to happen. A lot of you guys, just like you can't afford a new car, you're not going to be able to go out there and pay $35,000 for the top of the line. So you got to get some man's used robots, just like, you know, buy here, pay here. You're going to go to one of them lots and be like, yeah, you know, it's like they have, we talk about this all the time. Like a car has so many miles, they're going to have that on there. They're going to be like, yeah, well, she got a new butthole, and then, you know, the vagina's very rarely used. You know, she got a new throat. Hey, thanks for that super chat. Poe, 3,000. He said, I really appreciate your content. Common sense isn't common anymore. Yeah, everything goes nowadays, man. Just the fact that we having this conversation tells you how crazy it is in the world, man. People are really looking forward to that day. You know, where they can go and get an old used bot. You're going to have, just like you see them Pakistanis and everything with them old used car lots, they're going to be selling them bots. You're going to see the man in the back fixing it, you know, took the head off. And you're going to be pressing charges against them. He sold me a damn lemon. The pussy don't work. Or it's too dry. Yeah, they gonna be all kind. It's just the fact that we having this and y'all can kind of relate to it goes to show you how crazy of times we living in right now, guys. Y'all ain't even y'all laughing at it. Y'all not saying, Cal, you're nasty. Y'all laughing at it because you know it's true. Yeah, they're gonna be on Facebook, and then just like it's transgenders now, you're gonna be on the dating site talking to a damn sex bot, and you're gonna be like the bitch. I thought it was a real woman. Yeah, he said. You think about it, Cal. You can rent a bot. Yeah. Then you can sublease it. Yeah. They're gonna do all of that, man. If we can make some money off of it, we're gonna do it. Because I'm not going, just like I'm not going behind any of you guys over here. I don't want to use robot. Hey, thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have time anymore, man. I really did get touched by the Chris Johnson story. I know we've been saying some crazy stuff, man, but I've got empathy for people, man. I sympathize. I've got compassion. I was raised like that. Um, it really shook me up last night, man. Because this guy was strong. He was a man. The NBA, NFL guys, they're on a whole other level. And he's played in the NFL for 10 years. You got to be a bad man to play for 10 years in the NFL. As a running back, and it wasn't like he was Derrick Henry or no damn baddie. Yeah, but, this is the mindset, though. So you think that beating yourself off is the same feeling as having sex with a beautiful woman? He said having sex with a robot's not the same feeling. So you think, you know, jacking yourself off is the same? It's not, guys. I'd rather have a big Shirley or two or three. I'm not a teenager anymore, man. I already know, once you had the real thing, man, there's nothing this can do for me anymore. Yeah, all kind of stuff is going to happen. He said, can you test drive a robot? Yeah, it's going to be something crazy. They're going to have to figure that out. Make sure all the parts work. Yeah, damn refurbished every damn thing. What?
You're right. I love mom. She's the best. The best.
The best, yeah. Yeah, use robot.
No, do not play this one.
It's all fun and games right now, but pretty soon you're going to be, some of these guys are going to be faced with that. You're going to be faced with that. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to see it in my lifetime. I mean, you see these old crazy looking bots out here. They got y'all food. They already came forward and said, when y'all see these Chinese robots that look so woman-like, those are real women. They put on robot outfits and they fooling your stupid ass. No, it ain't nothing like the real thing. Uh-uh. Ain't nothing like the real thing, dude. I'm not going to be. He said, I'll invest in a robot making corporation. Yeah, that's going to market first. Yeah, they're going to make a killing. They are. Sex bot pimping. Yeah, because, we're a nation of laws and they're going to come up with some crazy laws on how you're supposed to treat this robot. Then women are going to be, all in the mix. People are going to they're going to start all up in their feelings. They're going to feel some kind of way, if you ain't treating the bot right. Crazy, man. We living in these kind of times, man. Now, here's the thing. Now, what type? Now, I guess the devil's going to be behind that because that's some sinister thinking. You can't even blame that on God. Hey, thanks, boo. Hey, I love Dad. He's the best. No, no, I don't think I'm too good. I just know he said, Cal, why don't you want to come behind us? Because I know how angry we are. I go behind Dong over here because Dong ain't doing nothing but the missionary position. And he's too damn tired from working 16 hours a day to even do anything for real. I'll go behind Dong, but I'm not going to go behind you nasty guys. Y'all going to turn the woman inside out, man. I try to tell these guys they don't care because they angry, man. I'm not going behind y'all. We know y'all know how we make these women jump through hoops and stuff like that. And, you know, whenever you hear a Filipino talking about licking a booty, you know them went too far. Y'all done, we bought that over here, man. They wasn't doing all that stuff before. And I'm not gonna lick a booty. I'm not a booty licker. See, so y'all done got her into all that stuff. I'm not gonna do it. That's the tells you right now how crazy the world is. Y'all justify that. Licking booty. Like, come on, man. You got to draw the line somewhere, man. And there's just too many of y'all. That's one of the things you got to ask the woman on the dating site if you licked a booty before. Because I'm not going to kiss you if you done licked a booty. So put that on your list of things to ask the woman because y'all afraid to ask some questions. Have you ever licked a booty, lady? Yeah. He says former Pro Bowl running back Chris Johnson recently revealed he's been diagnosed, with ALS. Yeah, we was talking about that today. He now uses a speech generating device due to the disease progression. It progressed rapidly, and that's the scary thing about it. Yeah, and see, this is the other thing that you got to program it because some of you guys are weird, man. It was heavy, man. It was deep. Yeah, they got a lot of propaganda videos out of the channel, but we believe it. They're like, yeah, so they already on the market like that. I'm like, no, they're not. You know, you would think that Elon Musk would have one already. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly right. There's no president that can say, I mean, even if, they can say, they went crazy when they thought Barack Obama was a Muslim, which he probably was. With a name like Barack. But I mean, he knew that he was going to have to make a quick conversion if he was going to be the president. Hey, awesome life. Thanks for that super chat. He said, I'm so glad that I subscribed to your channel because real recognize real. I'm loving it, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Hey, yeah, booby something else, man. I'm glad, man. You talking about stressed out. He said y'all talking about robots. So they put it on you. But it's too much booty licking going on right now. I'm not going behind any of you foreign guys. You know. Yeah. Yeah, he said all that extracurricular should be discussed during the interview process. That's right. But we don't even ask them. All we ask them is this. Are you married or single? How many kids you got? And then when you get over here and it all comes out. Yeah, it is. It's just true though. But I'm saying this is the reason why. See, I don't give y'all the benefit of the doubt, Juice. I think all men that watching here is licking booties, and so I say, well, I ain't going behind you because I'm not gonna lick a booty. That's why I'm not going behind you. Yeah, he's a tough guy, man. He don't even look the same. I mean, man, We can't choose the way we're gonna go, but that's a terrible way to go, man. You basically a prisoner in your body. He has free lifetime insurance. My nephew played 13 years. Yeah. Um, but you see, the doctors didn't tell him to go home and pray. They said, get your life together. He said that. Yeah, this is gonna be the they're gonna be financing a damn robot. It's gonna be crazy. You're gonna go in there to the bank and look at the woman straight in the face and say, she's gonna like, well, what's this 35,000 for, Mr. Roach? Johnny's, sex bots, or something, it's gonna be crazy, man. But y'all gonna do it. Y'all gonna do it. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, Elon Musk would have that. Yeah, you're gonna want to know they're gonna turn back the Dow. No, I don't do it with foreigners. Like I said, Dong over here, he ain't doing nothing. When I met my woman, man, she was 36 years old. And see, I believe Marilyn. Marilyn won't lie about nothing like that. She said she thinks she's climaxed 2 times. Because it's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay? She gets it every night now. You push that button every night, they ain't going nowhere. See, Q's talking about, oh, yeah, well, you take your woman to America, she going to run off. No. Not if you pushing that button correctly. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. But you ain't doing that because a lot of guys over here, I met a guy the other day. He's a good guy, man, He said he believed that's why his woman left him because he wouldn't lick the button. Not the butt, the button. And the guy came over here and turned her out. She left him. That will happen. See, you're never going to get the true story, though, of why these women are leaving. They'll say, oh, she's no good. No. You wasn't rocking the boat correctly. You wasn't hitting it. She wasn't, you wasn't giving her something she could feel. He said, the world's messed up. Married pastors getting away with screwing members of the congregation and the women forgive and still pay tithes. It's just that whole religious thing. I guess because, my father was a preacher. Certain women just love preachers. Okay? This is facts. My father at one time, he was dating a woman and her daughter. They just love preachers. There's some women they're preacher groupies. I mean, the preachers can't do wrong. There's not very many well-known preachers, that are good, that can really, bring the word and entertaining that don't have a bunch of women flocking after them, chasing them. They're lying if they don't. They do. No, because I don't want all that nasty behavior. I know what goes on over here. It ain't have nothing to do with that part of it. Just knowing that it's not only just that, but hell, I want to feel good when I take my woman to Boracay and she can have a good time. And on me, it's not, oh yeah, I've been here before. She looking all bored, like, well, why are you looking bored? I've been here before. But they love the preachers. They love the preachers, man. Preachers are like celebrities, man. There's not one, like I said, I grew up in the church. My father was a preacher. I've been around some of those guys, man. The real preachers that walk the damn, what do you call them? Where you sit, what do you call them? That was a young preacher, man. It's a guy that does it now in Louisville. He'll walk on the back of them preaching and singing, man, women fainting and going crazy. What do they call it? Where you sit in the church? What do they call it? Them guys be entertainers, man. Yeah, the pews. He walks the pew. He walks the back of the pew from one end of the church to the back. This young guy singing. This guy was bad, man. Hell yeah, all kind of women. Y'all talking about? Guys are celebrities, man. He said, you're right, Cal. There's a segment of women in America, maybe elsewhere. Yeah, they groupies of preachers, man. Everybody knows that, man. That's where they get all their money from. Who you think's in church? I'm not sitting up in church. It's mostly women and old people who are close to dying. That's just when they, decide they want to turn their life over to Jesus. Where, it's better to be, wrong for these last few years than take a risk. Yeah, they are, man. Man, this young guy, I mean, first time I ever seen him, man. Women were passing out. But that's all that's in there. It's women. And gays, they loving preachers too. They done took over the church. You can't do nothing in the church. They got the gay men in there. You can't run the choir. They playing the damn piano. They doing every damn thing. They head of the usher board. They done took over, man. But thank y'all for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. I'm ready to get off here, man. I didn't get hungry, man. I ate 4 boiled eggs for breakfast. He said, Uncle, did you see that gay pass? I didn't. He said, TD snakes. But when shit got hot, he got sick and backed out of there, didn't you? When they was getting ready to expose him, which, people aren't stupid. They play in your face. What preacher's gonna go to a Diddy party, man, and you ain't getting greased up? I can see him now sitting there rubbing the grease and the oil on some man. Blessings. He said, yeah, he said, Kirk Franklin got called out for having sugar. All of them, man. But I can see old ass. He'd have to pay somebody. He'd have to pay to touch me, old ugly ass man. TD Snakes. He's paying big money. He ain't getting nothing for free. Oh, ugly ass man. Hey, thank you, Poe 3000 for that super chase. Have a good night, bro. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Look for this video coming up. It's real life stuff, guys, over here that's going on. I'll get pushed back when that. Yeah. TD, good and damn well. What are you doing hanging out with Diddy? I don't even knock Diddy. I'm knocking him. You now all of a sudden when the shit hit the fan, literally, the shit hit the fan, he got out of there and gave the church. You don't hear no more about him. I ain't heard nothing about him since. Yeah, greased up. These guys, man. Oh, Diddy was a trip. They talking about now they getting ready. Somebody gonna write a book surviving. What's his name that just died? The white guy. What's his name? That was, behind all Whitney Houston and all them people. Clive Davis. Yeah. Yeah, guys, take care. Yeah, he disappeared. Facts. He did. You don't hear nothing about his ass anymore. Thanks, Big Kurt. But a super sticker, man. I appreciate y'all, man. He said, oh, hold up. Yeah. Yeah, yo, crazy ass. It's just, man, I tell you, the pictures that's in my mind of these guys, they sick, man. But these are the guys that's telling you to wait on Jesus.